Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much impact will he have on his next team?
I'm going to give it an 8. Skip, I think the thing is that we're like, okay, if Odell does not be the Odell that he was in the Giants, he has no value to a team. I believe and it seems to me, leaning towards Packers, Kansas City, or probably vying here, Green Bay might be in the front. Mm-hmm. He's better than Lazard. He's better than Valdez-Scantling. He's better than Pringle. He's better than Robinson at Kansas City. So he comes to number 2. And sometimes, Skip, look at it like this. If Odell makes a key third down catch, if he makes a key play that helps you win a game in the playoff or helps you secure a better seeding in the regular season, he would have proven his value.
Yeah.
Because you can't look at it like, well, Odell ain't giving us 100 yards a game. He has no value. I look at it like myself, Skip. When I went to Baltimore, was I the same player? Maybe. But I realized I wasn't going to get the same opportunities. Well, Odell is not going to get the opportunity, Skip, as the number 2, maybe number 3 receiver that he got when he was at the New York Giants. So you can't expect the same numbers when I'm not getting the same number of targets. So now let's reshift this. Okay, if he's the number 2 receiver and where he was used to getting 10, 11, 12 targets at the Giants, now all of a sudden he's getting 5 and 6. I mean, how big an impact can he have? A first down, a key first down catch, a key run, a key catch. That will have value. You remember when James Harrison signed his last year, he would end up going to New England.
Yep.
And he made one play, script sack, Jacksonville. It was worth it. Man, James, man, Debo ain't got nothing left. Coach Belichick signed him for one play.
Yep.
If he gives you one play that helps you get to a place that you probably wouldn't have got to without him, it's worth it.
I'm still not sure James gave him one play.
That was the one play, strip, sack, fumble.
Right, but then they got to the Super Bowl and they're no.
Would they have gotten to the Super Bowl without that play?
You can argue. Okay, but you're just talking about one little play.
That's all we need.
Okay. I got to tell you, I know how much you like Odell, and the God's truth is I really like him personally. I've told you from the start. I like his heart. Not sure his head's always in the right place, but I do love his heart. I'm not talking about competitive heart, just off the field heart. I think he's basically a good young man.
Right, deep down, he's a good guy.
Deep down. Which is why I am starting to feel sorry for him, because he is becoming the most overhyped free agent in NFL history, given what the magnitude of, and I'm just going off internet reaction, overreaction. He has taken on Deion Sanders-like stature, God-like stature in 1994. And you remember what happened?
Yeah, Skip.
You remember
Reggie,
Deion.
You remember Reggie was the first big free agent. He's not Reggie White and Deion,
but
Skip.
Deion was literally the difference maker. He goes to San Francisco in 94, and they win the Super Bowl in large part because Deion was a 49er. And then he says, I'm free again. Jerry, you interested? Jerry says, how big a check do you want? I'll write you the biggest check. He and Steven almost came to fist fight blows over it. And finally, they just bit the bullet and they plunged on Deion. What happens the next year? They win the Super Bowl. Okay, is that what we're talking about here? Because I don't think so. And I've tried to detail for you in the past, and I'm going to do it one more time right here, right now. Injuries have sapped a lot of his electricity. And listen, his rookie year, you talk about electric. He led this league in yards per game, the receiving yards per game. He was 109 receiving yards a game as a rookie. And lest we forget that catch, can we see the catch on my Dallas Cowboys? That was a Sunday night.
November, was that used car that he beat?
November, Brandon used car. This is November 23rd of 2014 on a Sunday night, and he made that stab of a catch over his head.
I don't even know how he made it because he couldn't see the ball.
And then I don't know how he came down in bounds, but he pulled it off. And that detonated the Odell hysteria. Right? And all of a sudden, his pregame shows became even more watchable than his in-game shows, right? Because everybody went to see Odell put on a Harlem Globetrotter-esque show in the pregame, right? Those kind of catches. And yet, from that moment forward, and by the way, bottom line to that game, would you believe that my Cowboys came back to win it 31-28? We won the game. So, but nobody could remember because that's all anybody wanted to talk about. I remember Chris Collinsworth live on TV. I know he turned the sound down, but he just went crazy. I believe Chris said that's the greatest catch I've ever seen, and that did it. Detonation.
It did, Skip. It did. That was a heck of a catch. Now, you got to give him that.
I do give him that. It's funny, though. It sort of spawned catch after catch after catch, and now my memory starts to blur because I've seen ones that are equal, or at least in the ballpark.
Everybody's making those catches.
Everybody's making those catches. So here we go. And later that year, he had a hip injury that was pretty serious that cost him games. And then we go to 2014.
He missed the first 4 games with a hamstring.
Yeah, right, hamstring. And it was a tear, hamstring tear. And then he injured his thumb in 2016. And then 2017, he had the ankle fracture on top of a turned ankle. And then he had a quad injury in 2018. And then he had a groin pull in 2019 that sent him to IR. These are all over the body. Now, we're not just isolating one part of the body. Then in 2020, he had a toe injury, which led to an ACL tear at Cincinnati. And that's when I told you Baker and company took off. And then even this year, he was fighting all year with an AC joint sprain in his shoulder. It's one thing after another after another. He has gotten beaten up, and he just turned 29 years of age. So he's not a young pup anymore.
Yeah, but he's still under 30.
Okay, he's still under 30, but I got to tell you, he has taken a beating. And he's also taken an emotional beating from all the controversy he's been involved in. And the pressure is mounting on him because I think you and I agree on only one point. This next stop is a big stop for him. Because if he fails here, man, you just wonder what the rest of his fate will be in the National Football League.
I think the thing is, Skip, and we're both in agreement on this. He needs to go somewhere with a strong quarterback. Green Bay, Kansas City. Strong head coaches, Kansas City. Matt LaFleur is thought of well, and around the league, he's thought highly of. So you look at that, Skip. Now, you have to understand, now, he's a receiver. He plays a dependent position. So how many opportunities are you going to give him? Are you going to give him opportunities like Tom Brady gave Randy Moss? Because remember what people said about Randy Moss when he was in Oakland. It's over. He done. When he went somewhere where he respected the quarterback, the head coach was no question the voice of that team, and Randy Moss broke records.
He did, but I hate it. Randy went off the other night on ESPN saying, this is why you need to sign him. Look what I did in 2007. And I hated that Randy said it for Odell's sake because now everybody's thinking, oh, Randy Moss is on the market again. Do you want to go sign? Everybody's got to line up to sign Randy Moss.
But, Skip, what you got to realize, at the time, nobody was lining up to sign Randy.
Nobody was, because I was very close to that situation in Oakland, because I was very close with Al Davis. And trust me, Al was down and out. And what did he give him away for? Is it a fourth round?
Third or fourth rounder, Skip.
A fourth rounder.
And that's Randy Moss.
It's all-time steal.
Yeah, and we know what Randy was in Minnesota, but he went to a place that didn't have.
And to your point, the quarterback took him under his wing and said, this is how we do it here. And Randy said, okay, let's go. And records fell. Okay, so I got that. But speaking of falling, if you look at yards per game, receiving yards per game, as I told you, 109 as a rookie. This year, it fell all the way to 39. And that's 4 straight years. His yards per game have tumbled. And 3 times in a row, the last 3 years, he's had career lows in yards per game. I'm talking about receiving yards per game.
What did you say?
Okay, so we're just going south and south and south. And then we get down to the ultimate issue. Was it Odell's fault or Baker's fault? Well, I saw a stat, your favorite website, Pro Football Focus, yesterday. And this is about a 4th level stat. But it said that when Baker Mayfield gets rid of the ball in 2.5 seconds or less, his stats all rank in the top 5 in the league among quarterbacks. Well, that was my issue all along with Baker and Odell. He's doing this, and if you do this, like, I got to get it to Odell. I got to wait for him to come open, or is he running the route? I thought, because it's come out that Odell would sometimes just run Odell's routes, if he didn't like the feel of one.
Well, that's where he needs to go, Skip. What was the problem with Ocho Cinco? He couldn't freelance anymore. In Cincinnati, he could freelance.
Could he? Ooh.
He got to New England, and he couldn't freelance, and he looked like a shell of himself.
He did. Okay,
Odell now is going somewhere where the quarterback is going to demand. If we say a 10 roll to 12, it's 10 roll to 12.
Okay, and too many times Baker is doing this, the double pump, and he's either getting sacked or he's throwing a ball into coverage that you just can't force it into. And to me, the detonation came lately when even your man LeBron tweets, free Odell, hashtag free Odell. And I kept saying, well, maybe it's free Baker. It's free both of them from each other. For whatever reason, it never did click. They were very close off the field. And I think Baker's very hurt because he continues to say, I still haven't heard from Odell. And I thought they were close enough that Odell would call him and just try to clear the air.
I ain't calling you. You ruined my career, man.
Okay. All right, so that's what it was.
Them ambulance balls.
Okay, well, and obviously Odell's father then I guess he reposted something that
some
showed,
video that was out. He reposted.
It showed all of the times Odell was open, that Baker didn't see him or missed him, and it soured to the point that it was do not invite him, where they don't even speak anymore. And I think it's going to be a long time before they have any conversation.
Hey, look, after a couple of months go by, maybe this offseason, I'll pick up the phone and give you a shot. Right now, Skip, I'm hurt.
Okay, so my lingering memories of Odell in Cleveland are these, and I've shown them before. I'm going to show them one more time because he is hitting the market as we speak. And there are 2 fourth-down plays. This is against the Chargers in a very close game, and he just hits Odell right in the hands. And for whatever reason, it had gone so bad, he just dropped it. And here's late in the Arizona game, they were trying to climb back into it. This is another 4th down, and he hits him right in the hands, and maybe he shied a little bit from a little punishment, and he dropped it. And then this is the ball that just drove me crazy. This is to win the game at Pittsburgh, and I still think that was a good throw. And all you get from your man Odell is a little wave. I'll wave at it, but I'm not going to take any punishment because his body is battered. You can't expect him to go get that ball that in the pregame warm-ups, he catches that ball in his teeth.
Yeah, I think the thing is, Skip, also, when you used to getting the ball, then all of a sudden you don't. You start to press. Those drops that we have is because Odell hadn't gotten the ball, and he's pressing, and he's thinking about what he's going to do when he gets the ball, before he even gets the ball. Like, man, I'm about to turn this up because I don't know when I'm going to get another one, as opposed to just catching the football. At that point in time, Skip, on that 4th down catch, it's more important to catch the ball and get the first than you thinking about yards after the catch. Sometimes it's just catch the ball, fall down, I got a first down, we're on the field, we keep the drive alive. I think a lot of times, having been a receiver, I know how it is, Skip, they're like, okay, we're going to spread it around. They got all these things. Oh, yeah, we're going to come to you early. Here it is, first quarter. I ain't got a ball thrown my way. Here I'm at the half. I'm looking around. Hey, we going to come to you. Third quarter, I ain't got a ball. Now, fourth quarter, 84, what can you get open on? What you mean, what can I get open on? Hell, I've been open all day. Okay. Now you want me.
And now you get a pass thrown to you, and you're like, I got to.
Exactly, Skip. And next thing you know, I was like, damn. And so now they're thinking, well, that's why we haven't been throwing you the ball, because you dropped it. Not thinking about, well, you just threw me one ball in the fourth quarter, and you want me to, all of a sudden, I done gone this whole. Imagine if Michael Jordan with 3 quarters, Skip, didn't take a shot. And say, Michael, it'll game winner for us. Come on, man, you got to get a rhythm.
Fair point. I agree. But I'm going to do Odell a favor here. I'm going to say on impact scale 1 to 10, I'm going to say he'll be no more than a 3 because I'm going to try to take a little pressure off this still young man, still sub-30-year-old.
He can handle it.
Well, he's going to have a world of pressure, and he is not a world-changing player anymore. He will not change anybody's life. I don't care what you say. He's not what he used to be, and nobody can accept that. And I'm calling it first, and I'm going to dig in over here and tell you he ain't Odell. He's not that guy.
You're going to be sorry.
Okay.
Because he mess around and goes to Green Bay. And they play your Cowboys.
You're going
to be really sorry.
He has never really haunted my Cowboys except on that one rainy night up in New York. He did catch that breakaway.
Hit that slant on y'all and went to the house.
That was the whole game.
He still got it.
It rained all night. It was cold and rainy, and he got loose for one play, and it was a one-play game.
That's it. That's like,
and your man Jackrabbit, he shut him down and locked him up. Locked him up.
What'd you just say? You said it was a one-play game.
Yep.
So if OBJ give us that one play in a playoff game, it was worth the signing.
A long time ago. And by the way, I'm glad you brought up playoff games because Odell has played in one in his life. And before that game, speaking of intangibles and lack of leadership,
man, go ahead.
He led his group of receivers south from they had played their final regular season game in Washington. And he said, I think let's all go down for the off day To South
Skip,
Beach?
the man was young.
To South Beach?
Skip, the man made a mistake.
Let's let Trey Songz post a picture of all of us on the yacht in Biscayne Bay to get ready for a playoff game on the frozen tundra of Lambeau
What do you know
Field.
about Trey Songz anyway?
Okay, well, I'm just saying, I know Trey Songz. We had him on the show back in the day.
Skip, that was a long time ago. The man was young. Skip, he was what, 22?
Okay, and then what did he do? He goes up there pressing because he knows the weight of the world. He has put it on his shoulders. And the first third down of the game, Eli came out like playoff Eli. And he throws it right to him on 3rd and 7, hits him right in the hands, and he dropped it. And later in that drive, he hits him in the back of the end zone, right in the hands, and he dropped it. And what did Odell do? As he's walking up the tunnel of hallowed Lambeau Field, he takes his helmet after the game was over, and they get crushed. I think it was in the outside before they turned the corner into the locker room. He took his helmet and just bashed the wall in, just knocked a big old hole in the wall, right?
I mean, it's frustrating, Skip, because the thing is, when you do things like that people are going to be looking, because and that's just the way it is, Skip. That's the nature of the beast. Michael Jordan going to the casino the night before a playoff game, Michael Jordan dropped 35, dropped 40. So that's okay. Michael knew he couldn't play bad, so Odell knew the pressure, the weight that was on him.
This was his first ever playoff game. Mike didn't go to the casino before his first ever playoff game. Not before his first
he was golfing with Danny Ainge and them.
Not before his first ever game. That's not right. That is not right. He golfed later with Danny Ainge.
Why he golfing?
I hate using golf as a verb. If you say that, you don't play golf, and you don't play golf.
I don't.
He played golf with Danny Ainge.
He went golfing.
Went golfing. I hate that. That's my pet peeve.
So in other words, you saying so when you say that, so are you saying golf is not a sport?
No, I'm saying it's a sport.
Or is it an activity?
You play golf.
Okay.
You don't golf.
Well, Odell went to Miami.
Yeah. Do the Lakers just basketball, or do they play basketball?
We play basketball.
They were basketballing. Are they going to basketball tonight or not? I don't know.
They're going to basketball. Yeah, we'll see how well they basketball. That really is the question.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.